This episode is, I don't know the right metaphor here. I was going to say double-edged sword. That seems wrong. It's a mixed blessing. That's probably how to put it. No, that still seems wrong. I don't know how to put it, but here's what I'm trying to get at. We watched the sequel trilogy with Rey and Finn and Poe Dameron and everything else, and it was so bad. Real quick, I got to get this out of the way. Spoilers from the very beginning. I don't know when I'm going to start getting into spoilers, but if you haven't watched the episode and you don't want spoilers, whatever. This is the only warning you get. We're getting right into it. So we watched the sequel trilogy. It sucked. It was just terrible, which made no sense because all these iconic characters that we love were back, and it felt hollow. It felt like nothing. I don't know about you. When the return of Han Solo, when he gets aboard the Millennium Falcon, or when you see Leia again for the first time, or when you meet Luke on an island and he's a grumpy old man, I felt nothing. Nothing. I don't know why. I do know why. It was because it was terribly executed. There was no gravitas to any of those moments. And now we have the Mandalorian. I'll save the spoiler of a little bit in, but the return of a great character. The return of a great Star Wars character. And I honestly felt my heart skip a beat. I felt more excitement during this one scene, this one reveal, than I did for anything in the sequel trilogy. It's a tragedy. And as I'm watching this, in my mind, I'm thinking, Disney, it almost seems like you found guys who know what they're doing, and I hate to say it, and maybe it sounds crazy, but the more you keep doing stuff like this, the more you keep nailing it, the more I'm thinking it's the only path forward for this franchise. We got to delete the sequel trilogy from canon. We got to get rid of it. Call it an alternate universe. It can still exist. I still think it would be fine if occasionally Rey gets sucked through a force portal and hangs out in the main Star Wars universe, whatever. It's an Elseworld. It's an alternate reality. Because there's so much here in this universe that is being explored that is so exciting and interesting, and it will be made so much better if I know that it's not going to lead to what we got in the sequel trilogy. All this stuff that's going on, I'm like, yeah, but what does it matter if it all leads to every Jedi getting killed off and the Luke Skywalker dying and the last Jedi is some girl? It's not going to work. And real quick, before we hop into this one, I always forget to tell you, please subscribe. Please. Just click the button. It's so simple. It would be the greatest Christmas gift to me if you subscribed. You don't know how excited I am every time I get a new subscriber. Think about it. Think about it. That's all I'm asking. Now, when the episode started off, I don't know. I was a little skeptical. I think you guys know I've been very skeptical about this show. For me, it's been a very hollow action show. The action is good. Everything aside from the action, not great. I hate to say it. And this episode starts off, not a lot going on. There's another instance of the Empire getting their asses handed to them because that's the only thing the Empire exists to do in this show.
Destroying your planet was a small price to pay to rid the galaxy of terrorism.
Beat up, we're assembling the crew, we're all gonna go get back the baby. Oh boy, let's get back the baby. One problem I really have with this show is the writing. The writing is just stilted and dry.
This is Moth Gideon's Imperial Light Cruiser. In the old days, it would carry a crew of several hundred. Now it operates with a tiny fraction of that.
Your assessment is misleading.
Oh, great. An objective opinion.
This isn't subterfuge, I assure you.
It really shines through after the last episode where we had Bill Burr, and I commented, I said, Bill Burr is the only person on this show who talks like a real human being.
You said you couldn't take your helmet off, and now you got a stormtrooper one on, so what's the rule? Is it that you can't take off your Mando helmet, or you can't show your face? Because there is a difference.
I know it's the Star Wars universe, and it makes sense for certain characters to be talking like, robots. Okay, the Mandalorian is a very reserved guy who's very precise about his speech. Fine. But maybe Bo-Katan or even like Cara Dune, who should have more personality than anybody. Everybody is speaking in these very precise terms, very, very precise with their language. And it comes off very forced. I'm like, just have a conversation like human beings.
If you should manage to finish your quest, I would have you reconsider joining our efforts.
So we have a infiltration on the ship. I thought the infiltration of the ship was actually very interesting. The idea, we've got a shuttlecraft. We're going to make it look like it's being chased into the Star Destroyer. That way they'll let us emergency land. I thought that was very interesting. The problem I have is it's not like A New Hope where, again, you sneak aboard, then you're sneaking around wearing disguises, very clever stuff. It's just more gung-ho hallway battles. Now, I'm okay with that sometimes when it makes sense. For instance, the episode where they're taking over an Imperial shuttle. A single, what do you call it? Cargo transport shuttle. Fine. That seems like something you could do with a 4-man crew. That's totally reasonable. This is a whole Star Destroyer. There's 5 people in total here. The idea that all 5 of you can take this thing by yourselves is... How were the Empire ever a threat to anyone? It's just the idea that if you get 4 or 5 guys who are good with guns, you can take over any Empire ship crawling with stormtroopers. This gets back to the problem I keep having where I'm like, look, I know the Empire sucks. I get it. I get that's the joke, the running joke. Everybody in the Empire is useless and you can kill as many of them as you want. It has no repercussions. But we got to stop that. Stop that. Again, I think this episode would have been better if they were being sneaky, if it wasn't just running through hallways, everyone knowing where you are, and it's just like, well, it doesn't matter. Throw 100 stormtroopers at us. It doesn't matter. They're useless. I'm tired of this. And again, something else I've said, have someone get wounded. One thing I was mad about with this episode was I was like, they have to kill someone now, right? It's the final assault on the ship or whatever. It's the final episode. I thought in my heart of hearts, I was like, well, this random Mandalorian girl whose name I don't even know is definitely going to die. Because they need to raise the stakes. Okay? You need to show us that the Empire is capable of at least injuring someone. Why don't you have somebody, again, take a shot to the arm or the leg, have somebody limping, cut off somebody's hand. That's a Star Wars thing. But they didn't kill anybody. They refused to raise the stakes. I don't know why. Anyway, aside from that, I know I'm just complaining right now, but the episode from there pretty much is solid the rest of the way through. Now, I was really worried when he sucked all the Dark Troopers out into space. I'm like, no! Why does the Empire so bad at everything? Why do you have a button that sucks all of your expensive robots out into space? Thankfully, for the love of God, they come back. I was going to be so mad if it's like, solve the Dark Trooper problem. Boop! No. Thank God that was not the case. And the Dark Troopers were very scary. We see how intense they are when they're fighting the Mando. Very cool. Mando has a great fight with Darth Gideon. I'm sure somebody who is more versed in fight scenes will tell me how it was actually stupid. Shadiversity, I don't know, man. I don't know what a fight scene's supposed to look like. Looked good to me. I'm sure you'll pick it apart and tell me it was terrible. But I enjoyed watching the Darksaber go toe-to-toe with a Beskar spear. That was very good. That was very well set up. Setting up the idea that Beskar and the Darksaber, they're the old, yin and yang opposing forces there. And he picks up the spear in an earlier episode, which gives him a weapon for the final fight. That was very well set up. I don't know about this conflict, where now he has the Darksaber and what's-her-name has to take it from him in combat.
It belongs to her.
She can't take it. It must be won in battle.
All right, we'll just have a little fight, and you don't fight very hard for it. How's that? Stage a big tournament battle, let everybody come and watch, and have her kick the shit out of you. Just say, like, yeah, don't kill me, and we'll fight as hard as we can, and hopefully you win. I don't know. They tried to make it like a very dramatic thing, and I'm like, I don't know. It seems like there's ways to solve that situation.
Without that blade, she's a pretender to the throne.
Actually, you know what I was thinking? I'm like, well, why don't you just give Gideon back the Darksaber? Yeah, and then have a tournament battle. Get a big arena, hand him back the Darksaber if you need to take it from him so bad. Let him, fight Mando for... I don't know. The rules of the Darksaber don't make any sense to me. Okay, none of this matters, right? None of this matters. None of this is important. Because we're watching, okay, they're screwed. They're in the desperate situation. No one can ever save them.
You have an impressive fire team protecting you. But I think we all know, after a valiant stand, everyone in this room will be dead.
I was like, oh, well, Boba Fett will come back, right? That was my thought. I'm like, oh, Boba Fett's going to come back and do something. I'm an idiot. This was telegraphed. Come on, Vito. You watch movies. You watch TV. We were talking about this Jedi. Come on, don't be an idiot. Guy shows up in the robes, and my first thought is, oh man, that kind of looks like Luke Skywalker. He's got the all black robes on, clearly a white dude, and I'm like, nah, it's gonna be that Ezra kid from that show I don't watch. It's gonna be something. I'm like, they're not gonna do Luke Skywalker. They don't have the balls to do Luke Skywalker. Because I was having this discussion with my buddy recently, and I'm like, you know what? Mandalorian is doing such a good job right now. If they started bringing back Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Leia, and just, I don't know, getting look-alike actors, which is what I would have done, or I guess you do the face recognition, whatever the hell. I guess I'm giving it away if you were waiting for spoilers. But the point is, I was like, let's just do it. Let's bring back Star Wars. Let's do it. All the adventures of the original trilogy cast. Why the hell not? We got the technology. I know everybody always complains. They're like, oh, I don't want to see a CG Leia. Who cares? I mean, as long as, what do you call it? You're paying royalties to the estate of Carrie Fisher. I'm sure Billy Lord will be happy to get some free checks from Disney to have a CG cartoon version of her mom on the screen. I'm sure she's fine with it. Point is, he ignites the green lightsaber. I go, motherfucker. There's no way. No. And then I saw the glove. He's got the one black glove, the Michael Jackson glove. And at that point, I'm like, well, it is Luke Skywalker. At that point, I was like, it has to be. It can't, because if it was anybody else at that point, if they showed you the green lightsaber and the black glove and it wasn't Luke Skywalker, I would have thrown my computer out the window. I would have screamed. I was like, it's Luke. Motherfucker. It's Luke, they're doing it. And I guess the only thing for me was I wanted to see how they did it. I was like, is it gonna be, what's his name, the guy who plays Winter Soldier, because they always say he looks like Mark Hamill. It ended up being, and I had to check the credits, I was like, was that guy all CG? It looked to me like an actor, and then they did the face transplant, which seems to be what happened. The name of the guy is Bobby McButtkiss. It doesn't matter. That's kind of sad for that guy. Imagine playing Luke Skywalker and you're not really playing Luke Skywalker. You're like, I'm a good actor. It's like, yeah, shut up. We're going to put a whole different guy's face on your face. I don't know who did the voice. It said just played it by Mark Hamill. They put Mark Hamill in the credits. I don't know if Mark Hamill was able to just talk in a way that he, sounded like his younger self, because now he sounds a little more gruff. But it looked good to me. If I wasn't looking for flaws, if I wasn't trying to be like, is this a fake computer man? And it was just a guy in a movie and that was how they chose to put him in, I probably would not have noticed that it was done by a computer. It was very well done. Again, probably because I think this actor they found looks a good deal like Mark Hamill. So it was probably pretty easy to, move the face around a little bit. I mean, you can probably, if you ran through it frame by frame, see some errors. But, mostly worked for me. Whatever. Point is, Luke Skywalker shows up, does exactly what he needs to do. He doesn't have a big, long conversation. He doesn't join the cast. He doesn't say, I can't wait to go on adventures with you, Mr. Mandalorian. Shows up, does his Jedi thing. It is always a little weird that Jedi are like, you're like, maybe he doesn't have to destroy every Dark Trooper. Maybe he could leave some of them for a future episode. But he pretty much destroys every one, because Jedi are the best. Takes the kid. You get a little moment with Pedro Pascal. That's kind of the disappointing thing for me. For Pedro and the kid, like, going their separate ways, I didn't really feel anything. Pedro Pascal, to me, is not, I don't know. I'm not sympathetic towards his character. Something about, maybe just, he's not emoting enough behind that mask. I mean, how do you emote with that mask? But I never felt this great, deep connection to him and his love for this kid or whatever else. Like, when the kid went his separate ways, I went, yeah, all right, that's what was supposed to happen. No tears in my eyes. This was not like watching a father and son tearfully torn apart. I was just kind of like, yeah, go with Luke Skywalker. Anyway, it was great. It was great. It was great. And the little thing after the credits where Boba Fett's gonna get his own show or movie. Now he's taking over Jabba's palace. Sounds good as well. I'm totally down. Fine, let's do it. I still don't think you need 12 different Star Wars shows. I really don't. I think it's too many. I think if you had The Mandalorian, I don't know where The Mandalorian goes from now because the child was so central to The Mandalorian. We're now just getting Baby Yoda's not going to be in the show anymore. How are you going to sell Funko Pops and T-shirts? You're going to have to give him his own show. What's going to happen there? He'll probably come back. He'll come. I don't know. Will he come back? I think he's just gone. What else can you do with the child unless you can like age him up and have him come back as like a teenager or something? I don't know how Yodas grow. Disney, you know what you need to do. I don't think, well, I assume some of you know what you need to do. Kathleen Kennedy with your 12 Star Wars shows, you don't know what to do. That's too many. You don't need that. To be fair, some of them are cartoons and whatever else. Okay, it's a little better than maybe I originally thought it was, but it still seems like a bit too many. But I keep coming back to this idea. Again, Luke's taking Grogu away to train him as a Jedi, which is interesting. But it's not interesting if I know that all the Jedi die, right? I mean, the title of the movie was The Last Jedi. And what, was Grogu hiding when the First Order took over? Like, it doesn't work. You get what I'm saying? It gets too weird and convoluted. You have to go in and just say, listen, sequel trilogy, we all had a lot of fun. Some of you guys really love it. A lot of you guys don't, but for you who love it, it's not like it never existed at all, okay? It's just a separate canon. It's an alternate universe. Back in the real universe, Luke Skywalker trains Grogu, and we're going to see where that goes. We don't have to think in the back of our minds, yeah, Grogu's going to get murdered because the only remaining Skywalker is Rey, the only remaining Jedi. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, right? Does that make sense to you? That the story falls apart. Like, all of the stuff that's going on is very interesting, but it is far less interesting when I know that Han Solo just ends up like an old drunk who makes one shitty kid who ends up being Darth Vader. Like, it's less interesting. I think they're going to do it. I really think they're going to do it. I think they're going to say, because this has all been fan service in a way. We're reaching this new thing in Hollywood where you listen to the fans. The fans tell you Sonic the Hedgehog looks like a big blue turd, and you fix it. And right now the fans are telling you, look, in the nicest terms, I'm going to put it this way. You tried to do a thing. The thing was terrible, and it fundamentally destroyed a lot of good characters. It fundamentally destroyed this entire 30-year period of adventures that we want to know about and that you want to sell us movies about. You want us to watch The Mandalorian. You want us to watch the Boba Fett show. For that time period to be interesting, I need to know that it doesn't end in abject failure for everyone involved. Okay, that the Republic doesn't just get randomly taken over by a weird terrorist, confusing new empire led by a big Palpatine mutant clone guy. It's terrible. So, I don't know. I see this. For some reason, this has me convinced that they're like, we know what works. We know what the fans want to see. The fans want to see Luke Skywalker, I hate to say it, being a bit of a hero. Bit of a hero. Coming in, saving the day, but being the wise Jedi on the path. It was so f***ing perfect, too. That he just comes in and it's Luke, and it's after the events of the original trilogy. He's come to terms with who he is. He's grown. He is wise. He is sagely. So f***ing powerful. Do that. I don't know. I'm excited to see where Star Wars goes next. There's a lot of potential. There's still a lot of problems. I brought up a lot of them here today, but I think those problems can be fixed if you keep bringing on good writers and you keep looking at what the fans really want and paying tribute to what they want in a way that is not pandering, but is respectful. I don't think this was pandering. I don't think this was like, oh, let's just throw Luke Skywalker in here for the hell of it. It was like, no, he naturally fits into this part of the story. We're not going to overuse him. It's not going to be a whole episode of Luke flying his... God, when the X-Wing, the single X-Wing comes in, I forgot about that. They go, oh, it's one X-Wing. And I go, is it Luke Skywalker? And it was. That's all you need to do. Simple, clean, not pandering, respectful to the material and the characters. Small glimpses. Okay, he was in the episode for what, 5 minutes? Okay, we didn't go, it's now the Luke Skywalker show. It was still its own thing. It worked perfectly. So again, I'm excited to see where this goes. We'll see where it goes. I'm optimistic and I'm pessimistic. There's stuff I like. There's stuff I don't like. I don't know who's running this ship. I don't know who's steering this ship. But whoever it is, take the reaction of this episode to heart. And really think about what people liked from this episode and how you can do more of it. Don't go too far with it, though. I'm worried you're going to go too far and go, oh, they liked Luke Skywalker, so we should just put Luke Skywalker in every episode. No! All right? You got to... whatever. I'm getting ahead of myself. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching my review of The Mandalorian. We did it. We reviewed every episode. I'm proud of us. Good work, guys. Good work, team. We did it. We stuck it through. We got more cool videos coming soon. A couple movie reviews on my plate. I might even have a little video essay about that Stormtrooper problem I've been talking about. You can't keep goofing on Stormtroopers forever, Disney. At some point, they have to be a real force to be reckoned with. We're going to talk about it. So don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. For the love of God. And take care of yourself, guys. Have a happy holidays. God bless you.